How is your pee break?
My pee break.
It might flash you. Understand?
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I too am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. What's up, everybody? Are you ready to talk about that ass? You know, that ass. I'm so unhinged. I'm so excited to be with you here, all of you tonight. If you have been, which you should, if you know, you know, if you're up on the relationship show that Rob and I recently launched, you know, it's been a little bit of struggle city. It's been tough times, rough waters at Ridgemont High over here. So this show is a little bit of foreplay. I'm kind of like raw dogging it, winging it for next week's episode, because next week you guys are literally going to cream your pants, okay, over these guests. It is a whole thing, OnlyFans coded and culture coded, psychology, all of it. But until then, we're going to talk about ass and have fun. And Rob even said, he's like, do your show. It'll be fun. It'll be a sweet release, sweet reprieve from all the heaviness you guys know about if you watch a relationship show. So here I am. I'm so committed to talking about ass tonight. I am quite literally doing this show in my underwear. I'm not kidding. A, because I felt like it. B, because I literally give no fucks anymore. I searched high, I searched low. I Christopher Columbus it. I couldn't find any. I have no fucks to give. And I was running late. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah. And I thought, in the spirit of ass, like, I'm just going to have my ass planted on this chair, quite literally. Rob actually just walked in, so he can attest to that if he should feel. So the reason that I'm not just feeling like fratty today, for no particular reason, it's because Rob always taught me, when you do your show, lead with what's on your mind, lead with what you're seeing, don't fake it, don't force it. And I am not faking or forcing anything when it comes to Hilary Duff's ass being all over my timeline. And I was like, let's have some fun with this today. Again, break it up. And Hilary Duff, who, couple things, and by the way, you're going to say, I have no idea. I'm straight up Helen Kellering it in this. Like, I have no idea where I'm going with this today, but I just wanted to enjoy your company and be with you all. But so we're going to see. I'm kind of like, again, pulling things out of the hat as I go. A couple of things Hilary Duff coded, because the reason her ass is all over my timeline, all over the newsstands, all over everywhere, the back of our eyelids, is because she was on the cover of Sports Illustrated Swim. She looks so fire. It's like Kardashian who, because she is like a Lainey Wilson. It's like that huge badonk ass that was like the secret weapon that was like, where have you been? It's like, you forget. You think it's like, oh, it's some white blonde bitch. And next thing you know, like, her ass is poking your eyeballs out. And she is 38. She looks so hot. She's a mom. She's all these things. And I'm like, it's flawless. It's perfect. No notes. Like, the ass is perfect. All this. And there's so many ways that the internet can go with this, because like the internet does what it does, right? So I've already seen things like it's just so played. It's like, don't you guys get like sick of yourselves? Like, don't you? She's a mom. She shouldn't be doing that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, listen, Molly, listen, Karen, listen, Sarah. Nobody gives two fucks. She looks so fire, and I will take it. And I did see a piece by KFC Barstool, and it brought me down this whole journey that I want to bring you guys on, because he was talking about how Hilary Duff's a millennial, as am I. And oh yeah, this is where I lost my train of thought a little bit. Two little Hilary coded things. One, when I worked at VH1, and I'm going to bring back a little gem from the archives of that journey. We did this little thing, because I was a producer and a writer and an editor there. And we did this little thing like, who's your celebrity doppelganger? And mine was Hilary Duff. And that aged well, didn't it? With her nice ass on SI Swim. But I actually did meet Hilary Duff, and her sister. I forget what they were promoting. I don't know. I interviewed them, but I have the pic somewhere. I didn't have time to pull it out of the vault for you today, but so sweet. And she's just one of those people I feel like that just, and I know because I've met her, but it's so like real and authentic and not fake. And people have said that about her. She just has this like magnetism and charisma and energy. And so I love that. I will be her doppelganger happily any day. But KFC Barstool did a thing of like, this is why millennials are the crown jewel. All you generations are fucking welcome, because we brought back the ass in the era of the like, what do they call it? The Kate Moss, like Coke anorexic model. So you're welcome for that. And here is Hillary Duff, like, again, the ass queen, reminding us all that millennials created the resurgent tsunami of the ass, and you're all welcome. And it brought back a memory of a couple things, but I actually penned a piece. Okay, guys, it must have been a slow news day. But when I was a writer at VH1, I wrote a piece because this is when it was like the up and up of like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, the Kardashians with all the fake ass and BBLs and all this. Which, right, with all of this, besides like the angry moms, who haven't gotten laid in so long, the other way the internet could go is like the swing of body positivity and like what happened to like the fakeness of it. And is it all trends and we're changing our bodies? And Meghan Trainor is all about that base. And now she's like on the like it's a whole thing. We'll get to that. But this was like on the up and up of the Kardashian ass, right? And I wrote this piece and I haven't reread it until I thought we could do like a live interpretive dance reading of this piece that I literally wrote for VH1, guys. Okay, I got paid a full-time salary to do this. It was penned this literally lives on the internet. It was July 2017. That's nuts, guys. That was almost 9 years ago. It's so crazy. Time is not real. Don't get me started on that journey. You can watch a relationship show for that spiral. And the headline is, "Shame on you for forgetting J-Lo has the original best butt." And then the subhead is, "It's like we don't even know you anymore." So I'm just going to skim it while we all like read it together. I just want to see this journey. Until rear end royalty. Yeah, see, Kim Kardashian, Amber Rose, and Nicki Minaj came along. There was a booty that ruled as the almighty queen of the world. All these ladies behinds are beautiful. I got to say, though, I was killing it with the alliteration in their own right, but don't you dare forget about the one that came first. It actually, I think it should be who came first, but you know, what do I know? Just editing my own piece here. In a time before butt implants were all the rage. Yeah, because there were also articles like, can you break a butt implant? Can they ripple? All this stuff. Jennifer Lopez, oh, that's why it was her 48th birthday. Wowed and mesmerized us with her bountiful booty of perfect shape, size, and proportion. So you get it, right? So I do a whole thing, and then let's go to the end. But yeah, it's like I was committed to this cause. I was committed to this cause to where I would write an entire piece, spend however long out of my day in my cubicle to write an ass, to write a piece to remind everybody about J-Lo's original ass, like paving the way. What do I say? I don't think she's 48 years old today. So still phenom in music videos. The fact that I just took it upon myself and took the liberty to abbreviate that. I don't think that's human, TBH. And she's still phenom on the red carpet. It will never be stopped, nor should it be. Pose on posers. Just know that J-Lo butt is a legend of a lifetime. Wow. Where is the Pulitzer? I'm like kind of pissed now looking back at it. No, but it is kind of funny, right? How it's just sort of, I was even thinking about this with the Meghan Trainor because people are like reaming her out now that she's like so skinny and her whole brand was about like being a little chunky and the base, all about that base and all this stuff. And now it's perfectly timed because she just came out with a new music video, something about glitter, and it's giving like Ariana on the bicycle side to side, and she's like, it's like SoulCycle-esque, and she's all skinny, and people are like, what happened? Not selling as many tickets and with touring and all that stuff, and is the message coming through? And people bought in this. And it's really interesting how we really do, it's like trends. I know this is again like parsed out and picked apart and scrutinized all the time, but I'm really not I don't know if it's because, again, like, I sort of don't give many shits anymore, but, like, I'm not that mad about it. I feel like it's sort of even the Megan Trainor thing, who's also, I don't know if I said this already. I've interviewed her. She's so sweet, like, such a nice person. I feel like it because in my old day, I'd be all up in arms. Like, what happened? You know, you were all about body positivity, so you never really were about that because then the magic Ozempic comes along, and now all of a sudden you guys are railroad Kate Moss. Like, what the fuck? I thought you were all about like Lizzo shaking your, fat ass all around, whatever it is, and even Lizzo's lost weight. All this, and I was thinking about it, and I don't know. It just yes, there's something to be said about women's bodies being a talking point, being a trend, which is crazy. It's like not a hair clip, not a top, but your actual body, which has gotten out of hand and all this. But the fact that we are complex creatures. And so that's why even reflecting on all this with like the Hillary Duff back in the J-Lo original ways and the Kardashian and the Megan Trainors now, it's like, maybe Megan Trainor at the time was like, I'm cool with like having a little extra something, something. Maybe deep down, she always did want to be thinner. Maybe, I don't know. Like everybody is on their own goddamn journey. Am I right? Like Taylor, Mr. Rogers over here. And we're contradictions and we're complicated people. And so it kind of makes sense that we would go back and forth and change as individuals and as a society. Like, again, I don't know if I've had a come to G's tits moment or what, but I'm not that mad about it. I'm like, it kind of like makes sense. Like, I'm not up in arms because, again, we're just complicated little creatures in that way. But speaking of tits, I actually, because again, like I try to always not just ramble on the show, but like educate the masses. And so I thought I would educate and run through ChatGPT because I'm more of a boob girl myself. But the reason I appreciate the Hillary Duff thing too is because like as another white blonde bitch, I don't know if you guys know this. Many of you may know I went on a whole body transformation journey that I'm really proud of. I call it Operation Sex Goddess Body. And I embarked on said journey about 4 years ago, and it completely changed my life. I've talked about it in depth. I can talk about it more, but it changed everything like from the inside out as like a woman and femininity and power and sexuality, all of it. But what you don't know is I actually started it as Barbie butt. I wanted that like really tight, toned ass and toned legs. I never wanted to lose weight. I'm only 5'2" for those of you who, don't know yet, Sabrina Carpenter-esque. But I didn't want to lose weight. I just wanted that like that big, bubbly, tight ass. And then that ultimately turned into like, a whole body transformation, obviously journey head to toe. But that's why I can appreciate it. I can appreciate a nice fat ass on a white girl. Like, let's go. I don't know how much Hillary Duff, how much work she puts into it. Like Lainey Wilson talks about this in her new documentary. And it's actually really funny. She has like such a great attitude about so many things. And Lainey Wilson, another white girl with a huge unexpected ass. You're like, whoa, first thing you were like strumming the guitar. Next thing I know, it's like I'm motorboating your like ass cheeks. And she talks about in the documentary how her ass went viral. And she wasn't like how all these angry feminists were like, oh, we are objectified, blah, blah. And she went on her social media and she's like, if you're here for the ass, great. If not, great too. Either way, happy to have you. And she was sort of like, God works in mysterious ways. And so sure. And I just love that whole attitude. So all that said, though, I am a little bit more of a boob girl. And I remember growing up, right, we would always talk like in the locker room with guys or whatever on field trip and be like, are you an ass guy or a boob guy? Which I don't know if the kids do that these days. Like you guys will have to tell me because I feel like now they're all PC and shit. But because I do try to educate, okay, I came around and I came back just like fertility, Father Trump, who we're going to get to. I ran through ChatGPT. I was like, are there psychological traits of an ass guy versus a boobs guy? And it actually kind of gave me some deets, which is really funny. So you guys can tell me if you have personal experience with this or if ChatGPT is full of it, okay? It says boob guys are often, well, whatever, it says stereotype. So ChatGPT is trying to watch its ass. Like, now it cares. Okay, now it cares. This is the same ChatGPT that was like, Taylor, Charlie Kirk is not dead. It was like, signed, sealed, mic drop, it's hill to die on, no pun intended. And I was like, yes, he is. Now with the boob versus ass guy, it's trying to be all like allegedly, but whatever. So it says boob guys are often stereotyped, more visually driven, by overt femininity, nurturing, symbolism, softness, comfort, slightly more traditional or boyish in attraction, style, fantasy, flirtations, blah, blah, blah. Whereas ass guys are often stereotyped, it says, as, I actually could see this because it's like, even in rap songs and hip hop, it's like, yeah, split that ass on the stripper pole, girl. Like, you don't really hear them being like, shake your titties in my face, but whatever. So it says ass guys stereotypes as more sensual than purely visual, attractive movement, confidence, athleticism, body language, chemistry, vibe, more than pinup aesthetics. Interesting. The more you know. Often associated with appreciating confidence, dominance, swagger. Interesting. Honestly, this all tracks. So that's a little bit of that from ChatGPT. I'm going to kindly exit that chat. And yeah, and the last thing I will say is I've been committed to this conversation, not only the J-Lo piece, not only my own Barbie butt journey, but I did interview Bryce Dallas Howard, famous actress, Ron Howard's daughter. She's another one, white girl, like packing the ass. And I remember in our sit-down interview, she was promoting Pete's Dragon, a Disney movie, but something had gone on about her ass, and she talked about it in the Kardashians, like actually kind of like giving them credit for bringing the ass back, like Juvenile backing that ass up, but for a white girl. And I remember I was so proud that I asked her about this at an otherwise like family-friendly, uptight Disney thing. And at the time too, the Kardashians, and they still do, but they had like such a stigma where it was like, oh, it's negative for women's body image and it's fake, blah, blah, whatever. So all of it was kind of stigmatized. And I asked her about it. And I remember her being like, yeah, kudos to them, because it like paves the way yet again for women like me. And the sad thing is I Googled it. I could have sworn I ran a piece on it, but I was working for Bustle at the time, which is like very much like men are bad, don't shave your armpits, feministy. So they didn't run it. And I'm actually kind of low-key pissed about it now. And I looked at the articles at the time, and sure enough, they ran one about like motherhood and one about like her kids. I don't know, whatever. But just know the effort was there. So Hillary Duff, the Sports Illustrated, the whole thing, it's so fire. I'm obsessed. And I even saw some people, because Hillary Duff, she's like me. She's petite. She's a little curvy. She's not stick thin. And you can tell in some of the swimsuit photos, like it's a little Photoshop, like her legs look a little thinner. I don't know why. Again, I don't know what's come over me. I don't know. It not like that. Boob guys. I know what you're thinking now. I don't know what's come over me. Normally, again, I would be so up in arms, and I'm just sort of like, I could tell. And I'm just like, I don't care. Like, okay, whatever, fine. So they made her legs look a little bit thinner, whatever. Like, she's 38. She's a mom. She's unabashed. She's out there. She's unabashed. That pun was reaching. So I just don't care, whatever, because people in the comments like, meh, 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 and whatever. Okay, so speaking of being a hot mom, Trump, I saw the most hilarious clip today of Trump calling himself the father of fertility. And this one hits, it taps and slaps my ass and then some, because, and we'll reveal more about this, but specifically on the relationship show, embarking on my own fertilization egg freezing journey, which I'm 35. Obviously, like I've said, the clock struck midnight when I turned 35, and I've just been in a literal spiral ever since. So I'm healthy. I'm good. Knock on wood. I don't have fertility issues, but I'm like, just in case, you know, the clock is clocking. So here we are. And it's been a very emotionally charged up and down journey. Again, it's never something that I ever considered, wanted to do, thought I do. You have a lot of women being like, I and hopefully I do feel this, but a lot of women being like, you know, I was able to like exhale and breathe a sigh of relief after I did it, just to have the safety and the backup. I'm just sort of, I'm definitely anxious about the whole process. And I talk about it on the show. Rob and I went in yesterday for a consultation. I was like, anxious pee, crying, laughing, breaking my nails off in the thing. Like it was a thing, right? But so all that to say, yeah, it's something that I never considered. I never, like many women now, thought I would be this late in life. I thought I would have had kids by now, and the time just it just creeps up on you. So all that to say that IVF, and you see this all the time. You see people talking about their journey and their fertility journey and all this. And it's one of those things I feel like as in tune as I am with, women and on the pulse and catching the vibe of women's issues and where we're at. I really do feel like it's one of those things that unless it hits close to home, it feels super foreign. So now that I'm in it and see how much it is a journey, like physically, emotionally. They say that like, with all the shots and you like blow up, like it's a whole thing. I'm like, okay. They do not tell you this. Secondly, not that I ever bought into the dogma. I did a little bit again in these early VH1 days I'm talking about, but of like the feminist, like, I don't need a man, da 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 da. When you see how expensive this stuff is, and I know it's talked about, but it's not talked about enough. And that's why I don't know if that's why it's so bizarre in the whole thing again, because humans are so contradictory, especially in this time now where everybody just like steps over themselves and goes in a loop and nothing makes sense. I don't know if the feminists will love or hate Trump for this, because what I was going to say was there's a part of me seeing how expensive, seeing the toll. I'm like, I personally want to send an invoice to the feminists to be like, okay, bitches, you told me to go be a strong woman, blah, 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 blah. You don't need this. You don't need that. Are you going to pay $10,000 to freeze my eggs, bitch? Cough it up. That's all I said to Rob. I was like, I want to send a personal invoice to the feminists. Thank you very much. And I'm not even someone who was super bought in. But Trump talked about being the father of fertility, the IVF father, all these things, like Alex Cooper with the founding father, all this shit who. And really, he talks about how with all this, I'm like, is he the low-key like feminist, but all the mainstream calls him the biggest misogynistic pig? Like how are they going to wrap their brains around this? Because he really wants to make IVF cost effective, covered by insurance, acceptable, because right now it is literally the biggest clusterfuck. Like Rob and I, we fell off our seats. She was like, okay, so she's tallying up the total. And we're like, okay, so this is just for the first round. Wait, the first round that might not work. So for the first round that we may have to do 5 more times, like, I'm sorry, what? And I think it's amazing. And, with Trump, with any of these leaders, like you never really know what the underlying motive is. Like you don't. It's unless you're like a Spencer Pratt who is so goddamn transparent. And I think that this is like the wave of where it's going to be. You really don't know what is underneath and what's motivating them. But regardless, I think this one is going to put the women's brains in a pretzel, because he's like, I'm here to help you out. I'm here to. So what are the feminists going to do? Like, he's here to help women, but again, and like help them bear children and start a family and all this in a technologically advanced way with IVF, but the feminists hate him and theoretically are against it. Like, is it just going to literally put their brain in a puzzle? That remains to be seen. But I respect and I appreciate it, given that, again, I am newly embarking on this journey and it is very uncertain. It's very scary. All the little intricacies I never knew. I feel like I knew the tip of the iceberg, and I still even do. Hey, UK, Irish roots further back. Good to see you. Thanks for hopping in the chat here. We're just talking here about, the US, love us or hate us. Maybe we're unhinged, but, can't live with us, can't live without us. You know what I mean? Well, definitely can't live without us, as the nationalists would say. So lastly is comedy. I know we're kind of all over. We went from ass to IVF and fertilization to comedy. But what can I say? Like, welcome to 26 minutes of Taylor Brain. Enjoy your stay. No, I don't know. I mean, again, this kind of brings me back to the Hillary Duff thing and millennials' role in we're like the middle child right now, right? Like we're between the Gen Xers and the Boomers and the Gen Zers. I'm reading your comments. Thank you for that. Interesting from the male perspective too here. I love it. I love to hear that. And so millennials' role in restoring, maybe it's something like ass, like Hillary Duff, and things to, you know, childbirth, as we're seeing and later in the game, which I love to see, to comedy. And I just don't know what the deal is. Like, why can't we get our footing back when it comes to comedy? Rob and I started watching the roast of Kevin Hart last night because, again, we were like, everything has been so heavy. Like, we need a sweet relief for the love of God of laughter for like 5 minutes. Because I was like, the roast of Tom Brady was hilarious. It was so inappropriate, out there, politically incorrect. Like, surely this will be the same. He and I, we got, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half in, which this program's 3 hours, by the way. So good luck with that. And we chuckled. I was like trying hard to laugh. I was like, no, Taylor, you're in a time of hardship. You must laugh right now. Like we maybe looked at each other and chuckled like 3 times. And you can tell they're like trying, and they'll be like, you know, we're gonna be racist and make fun of Black people. We're gonna make fun of the Jews. But it's just not funny. Like, what is the deal? I was like, surely this is going to be like edgy and out there. And I appreciate like Netflix, again, like not caving to the Dave Chappelle stuff and really not giving a shit. But what is the deal? Like, why is nothing funny? Forget rom-coms. That shit has passed. It is not going to resurrect like Jesus, like anybody, like it's gone. That's already a lost cause. But comedy itself, like, what is the deal? Guys, we're in a state where the so-called great comics of the US are taking their bits to like the Middle East, where you are a woman showing a shoulder and you get like your arm cut off. It's like, what are we talking about? Like the mecca of free speech. Okay. Backwards world. So I'm going to close out with a couple comments here. 48, slap in the middle, Gen X. Yes. The old world, modern day at the same time is a trip. I love that. I always love when the comments like wrap it up for my blonde brain in such a poetic way. I love this. And this is exactly, I'm going to put it up on the screen here. This is kind of what I'm getting at, you know, with this episode again, whether it's women's bodies or ass or Ozempic or fertility or comedy. The merging of the old world and modern day and reconciling that. And millennials' place in that, perhaps as a millennial, to any of you other millennials out there, like do our damn best to bring back what is true and what is good. And that is comedy that is actually funny. And that is, you know, unabashed white girl ass. So with that, have a great weekend. Thank you guys for the like and subscribe. I see you in the comments, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
It might flash you on TikTok.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I too am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor.